राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजन यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी जय गोपी जन वल्लभा गिरिवरधारी यशोदनंदना व्रज जनरंजन यमुना तीरा वनचारी राधा माधवा कुंज विहारी हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्णा हरे 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 राम राम हरे हरे राधा जम सुंदरा राधा जम सुंदरा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा जय प्रभु पदा गो प्रेमानंदे हरि बोल एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचर अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमती जैसी भक्ति वेदांत संस्कोपाद की जाए एवं विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राज काचर अष्टोत्तर शत श्रीमती भक्ति सिद्धांत सरस्वती ठाकुर गोस्वामी प्रभुपाद की जाए आनंद कोटि वैष्णव वंद की जाए नमाचार्य लरदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय ब्रजभूमि श्री वृंदावन धाम की जय नवद्वीप मायापुर धाम की जय श्री क्षेत्र जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय गंगमय यमुनामय की जय भक्ति देवी तुलसी महारानी की जय समवेत भक्त वृंद की जय हरिनाम संकीर्तन की जय निताय गो प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि बोल हाल assembly Hare Krishna all to assembly Hare Krishna All glories to assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories. All glories. All glories. All glories. Shri Guru and Gauranga. Shri Prabhupada ki jai. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Vishtaye Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Nidhanam Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Prajar Nirvisesh Sunyavadi Pachatya Desta. Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you very much for joining Christmas Eve day, even though it's a busy and vacation days. Thank you for giving your valuable time. I'm sure Sri Prabhupada and Lord Krishna will be pleased with your sincerity in understanding about him and his energies. So today's topics will be inconceivable aspects of opulence of the absolute, simultaneously one and different. Achincha Beda Abheda Tattva. From chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, verse number 4 to 10. Those are the verses. Let's see what Krishna is trying to tell us in this chapter, in these verses. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayan Namaskricha Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudirayan Nasta Prayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Uttama Sloke Bhakti Bhavati Naistiki. Hari Om Tat. Chapter 9, the most confidential knowledge, verse number 4. Maya tadam idam sarvam jagad avyaktamurtina मस्तानि सर्वभूतानि नाचाहं तेषु अवस्थितः मया तदमिदं सर्वं जगत् अव्यक्तमूर्तिना मत्स्थानि सर्वभूतानि न चाहं तेषु अवस्थितः मया by me tatam pervaded idam this sarvam all jagat cosmic manifestation avyaktamurtina by the unmanifested form Matstani in me, Sarvabhutani, all living entities. Na, not, cha, also, aham, I, teshu, in them, avasthidaha, situated. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Prabhupada ki jai. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Please repeat. By me, in my unmanifested form, this entire universe is pervaded. All beings are in me, but I am not in them. Very interesting statement. This whole section will be very interesting, lot of philosophical, but will give a wonderful pastime of Lord Krishna with Mother Yashoda, and we'll see how beautiful it is. Then we'll understand the whole aspect. न च मस्तानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् भूतभृन् न च भूतस्थो मम आत्मा भूतभावनः न च मत्स्थानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् भूतभृन् न च भूतस्थो मम आत्मा भूतभावनः न च मस्तानि भूतानि पश्य मे योगमैश्वरम् भूतभृन् न च भूतस्थो मम आत्मा भूतभावनः Yoga Mahiswaram is very important in this section because that's the inconceivable potency of the Lord. He is explaining about his inconceivable powers. Na, never, cha, also, matstani, situated in me, bhutani, all creation, pasya, just see, me, my, Yoga Mahiswaram, inconceivable mystic power. That's why I said Yoga Mahiswaram is important. Bhutabhrat, the maintainer of all living entities. Na, never. Cha, also. Bhutastha, in cosmic manifestation. Mama, my, Atma, self. Bhuta Bhavana, source of all manifestation. Another interesting from the last verse in the continuation. Translation by Prabhupada. And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Beyond, behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. What a bewildering statement, huh? And yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic opulence. Although I am the maintainer of all living entities, and although I am everywhere, I am not part of this cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. I'll try to understand. Lord Krishna himself gives the examples also that we understand. This is the example Krishna is giving. यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायु सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानि इति उपधारय यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायु सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानि इति उपधारय यथाकाशस्थितो नित्यं वायु सर्वत्र गो महान् तथा सर्वाणि भूतानि मत्स्थानि इति उपधारय Yata, just as Akasa Sthiti, situated in the sky, Nityam, always, Vayu, the wind, Sarvatraga, blowing everywhere, Mahan, great, Tata, similarly, Sarvani Bhutani, all created beings, Matstani, situated in me, Iti, thus, Upadaraya, try to understand. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere, rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. Understand that as the mighty wind blowing everywhere rests always in the sky, all created beings rest in me. That's the example. We'll try to understand that. Seventh. Now he's going a little bit further about that. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpado visrujamyaham. सर्वभूतानि कौन्तेय प्रकृतिं यान्ति मामिकाम् कल्पक्षये पुनस्तानि कल्पादो विसृजाम्यहम् सर्वभूतानि all created entities कौन्तेय O son of Kunti प्रकृतिं nature yanti enter mamikam my kalpakshaye at the end of millennium puna again tani all those kalpado in the beginning of the millennium visrujami create aham I. Translation. O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Please repeat. O son of Kunti, at the end of millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Verse number 8. प्रकृतिं स्वाम् अवस्तभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृष्णम् अवसं प्रकृतेर्वसात् प्रकृतिं स्वाम् अवस्तभ्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः भूतग्राममिमं कृष्णम् अवसं प्रकृतेर्वसात् प्रकृतिं the material nature swam of my personal self avastabhya entering into visrujami I create punah punaha again and again bhutagramam all the cosmic manifestation imam these krishnam in total avasam automatically prakrute of the force of nature vasat under obligation. Translation. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will it is automatically manifested again and again. Under my will it is annihilated at the end. Please repeat. The whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again. Under my will, it is annihilated at the end. Verse number 9. Almost last but one verse. Nachamam tani karmani nibadnanti dhananjaya. Udasina asaktam teshu karmasu. Udasina is important. न च मां तानि कर्माणि निबध्नन्ति धनञ्जय उदासीनवदासीनम् असक्तं तेषु कर्मसु न never cha also mam me tani all those karmani activities nibadhanti bind dhananjaya O conqueror of riches udasinam as neutral asinam situated asaktam without attraction teshu for those karmasu activities Translation by Sri Prabhupada. O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Interesting. Using Dhananjaya word, and he's talking about detachment. So he's referring to something here. So, O Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. Last verse of this section. Famous verse. Mayadhyakshena prakriti suyate sacharacharam hetunanena kaunteya jagat viparivartate. मयाध्यक्षेण प्राकृति सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगत् विपरिवर्तते मयाध्यक्षेण प्रकृति सूयते सचराचरम् हेतुनानेन कौन्तेय जगत् विपरिवर्तते मया by me अध्यक्षेण by superintendence prakriti material nature suyate manifests sa both chara acharam the moving and the non moving hetuna for the reason Anena, this Kunteya, O son of Kunti, Jagat, the cosmic manifestation, Viparivartate, is working. Translation by Sri Prabhupada. This material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. To repeat, this material nature, which is one of my energies, is working under my direction, O son of Kunti, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. We'll try to understand this verse. Om Ajnanatamrandasya Gnananjana Salakaya Chakshurunmiritam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Mukam Karoti Vachalam Pangum Langayate Grimmet Krupatamaham Vande Sri Gurum Denatarana Paramananda Madhavam Sri Chaitanya Iswaram Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhu Bhaivacha Pajitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namo Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhara Sri Vasadi Gaura Bhaktamanda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sri Chaitanya Mano Vishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamiham Tadati Swapadanti Rupa Goswami Prabhupada ki jai, Prabhupada ki jai, Gaur Bhaktam ki jai. Tomorrow is the disappearance day of Srila Jiva Goswami, one of the six Goswamis, prominent Acharya. So here we are discussing the second section of this chapter. So, which is the inconceivable powers of the Supreme Lord. So, second section, as we covered from last week, which is the most confidential knowledge, the sections is 1 to 3. So, where we discussed hearing about Krishna, that was the first section, and we are covering today's second section. And also, we discussed that qualifications and disqualifications. So what are the qualifications? One must be faithful, one must be loyal, one must be non envious. Then you can understand. So, because if somebody wants to understand simultaneously one and different, inconceivable, contradictory things of the Supreme Lord, who can understand? If you go to the rich person, if he says, I have all these hundreds of things, I have factory here, I have this, I have that, somewhere here, and I do all these activities simultaneously, I'm in so many places in a single day. So, if, unless he is really has faith in him, he is just boasting. He really doesn't have. He's just talking simply. We'll take so that's why one must have faith, especially if it is coming from God, Supreme Lord directly speaking. So that's why this cannot be this most confidential knowledge cannot be understood unless we have strong faith. So that's why in the qualification that should be there loyalty and non-envious nature and strong faith and sincerity. And then disqualification will be the one who is envious, one who doesn't have faith, asraddha dhana purusha, dharmasya parantapa aprapyamam nivartante mrityu samsara vartamani. There are two kinds of faith. Jiva Goswami explains and Racharyas explain. Laukika Shraddha and Shastriya Shraddha. Laukika Shraddha is all material aspects. You have so much faith in everything else of the material aspects. What politicians say, what scientists say, what TV says, what somebody said. So this we will definitely we have a lot of faith. Most of the people put the faith in those, but the real intelligent person puts faith in sadhu, shastra, and guru, realized person. So that is the shastriya shraddha. श्रद्धा श्रद्धे सुदृढ़ निश्चय विश्वास सुदृढ़ निश्चय. That's how Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu in Chaitanya Charitamrita describes strong faith. One who has strong faith in Shastra, understanding and Guru and Krishna. Sudrudha Nischay. That is a firm faith. So that's why one must have this firm faith to understand. That one must hear about Krishna. That was the first section. And today's section is 4 to 10 is inconceivable powers of Supreme Lord. And then the third section is worshippers and non-worshippers, 11 to 25. And then 26 to 34 is what glories of devotion service to Krishna. And then 29 to 31 is favoritism to devotees within that. And then you have how all devotees can be purified. But the important point from 7th to 12th chapter is hearing about the Supreme Lord. That's why repeatedly 7th chapter begins, 8th chapter begins, 10th, 9th chapter is again hearing about Lord Krishna. That is the first and foremost. And Sri Bhakti Siddhanta Thakur is saying, Harikatha hi kevalam paramam sreya. Unceasingly, attentively hearing discourses about Hari is the topmost and most important method in Bhagavad Vidya. In our Sampradaya, this is the most important Bhagavad Vidya. So that's why one must hear. So otherwise it's very difficult. Further, it is when Bhagavan prapti hetu ye kari upaya sravanadi bhakti Krishna prapti sahaya. So we must take help of hearing. Then only we can attain Krishna. Otherwise it is not possible. This is in Chaitanya Charitamrita. So Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami is mentioning. So yeah, in the qualification I missed generous. One must be very generous. So that's why the king, Raja Vidya, Raja means king. The king has this generous quality, compassionate, distribution of wealth, distribution of whatever is there, whatever. We are always ready to share with somebody, at least one person. So we don't want to keep everything to us. That is the I and my concept. So that should be there. So generous. So now, first verse, when we look at the fourth verse, Maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina mastani bhutani na chaham teshu avastita. Krishna is mentioning here, Maya tadam idam sarvam. By me, everything is pervaded. Everywhere I am pervaded by my energy. Maya tadam idam sarvam. Jagat avyakta murtina. Now, vyakta means manifested. Avyakta means unmanifested way. Jagat avyakta murtina. But again, further he is saying, Mastani Bhutani na chaham tesha avastita. I am in them, but they are not in me. That means I am not maintaining them. For devotees, Lord is maintaining, but really everybody else is not maintaining. So it is like company CEO. I have given many times example, and Prabhupada gives this. So CEO is not everywhere, but through CEO or the president or the chief minister or the king. So he's the in charge, and under his direction, he's not everywhere at every time. By his energy, everything is working. Without his authority, without his power, without his sanction, nothing can move, nothing can happen. So same way, by Supreme Lord's power, Supreme Lord diffusion of his energies, everything is working. Maya tadam idam sarvam. So by his energies only everything is working. That's what he means. By his power and energy, everything is working. So that's what it means. But Avyakta is invisible. We can't see him. He's unmanifested. Just like super soul, we can't see him like that. But he is fully detached. Avyakta is also means invisible and also detached. Both moving and non-moving entities are Matsani means moving and non-moving. So Chara and Achara, the different species of life, moving, living entities and non-moving. Both are, everything is resting on him. And Prabhupada also gives like the recording audio. Prabhupada says, yes, I am speaking. You are hearing my voice. Sometimes you record my thing in dictaphone and then you hear that. So my voice only you are hearing, but I am not there physically. So in that way, same way I am speaking on Zoom. I am here at my home and you are all at your homes. So I am not there, but you are able to hear through this Zoom media. So same way, so Lord is through His energy, this media energy, this electronic media energy, it is distributed. This voice, and so same way, so the Lord's through Lord's energies, inconceivable energies, everything is pervaded, everything is working. So that's what He's trying to tell us. Physically, Lord is not there. That's what He means. So as is mentioned in Svetasvatara Upanishad. So, or in other place, Parasya Shaktir Vividayo Smriti Swabhavaki Jnana Balakshya. Just as desires, then things happen. That's all Lord Krishna, he doesn't need to do really work. Different energy, he has 16 energies. So, when Akrura was coming back from Vrindavan, taking Krishna and Balram to Kamsa, so then when he stops at the beginning, Akrura Ghat, I forget another place that is also called some other name. So there he sees when he dipped in that river or lake, then he saw Krishna Balaram is sitting on the chariot, then he sees he sees the Supreme Lord and he sees all the energies. There it is described in that Srimad Bhagavatam, all the 16 energies. In multiple places we will find that different energies list. That says, but broadly categorized, the Swarup Shakti of the Lord is characterized as internal energy, marginal energy, external energy. External energy is the material manifestation. That's what Krishna is speaking here. Maya tadam idam sarvam. In this material manifestation, everything is working, everything is pervaded by my diffusion of my energy, of this external energy. Maya tadam idam sarvam. So external energy and the marginal energy, we are marginal. We can choose go towards the Supreme Lord or go towards the material energy and enjoy. So that is a Tatastha Shakti, marginal energy. And then internal energy is Supreme Lord, Nitya Siddha Bhaktas, pure devotees, are the Lord's associates. Yeah, they are Nitya Siddhas. In this way, internal energy, marginal energy, external energy. So these are the broad categories at the high. But then there are much more elaborate description of the different energy, Kriya Shakti, Jnana Shakti. So many Shaktis have been described. In this way, we can understand. Also mentioned Vistabhyam Aham Krishnam Ekam Sena Sthito Jagat. This whole world, just by my one Amsa, I am pervaded, this whole material energy is working. So then people may have a question, if God is everywhere, what is the use of going to temple? So what kind of question is that? Because if God is everywhere, then is he not in the temple? So if everything is working under His direction, everything is everywhere Lord is pervaded, God is everywhere, then is He not? Because if it is a marble or is a stone or there are nine or so materials Shastra gives the deities to be made of. So in all those materials He is there because He is mentioning He is there and everywhere I am pervaded. Then what is the question of not there? That's what we have to understand. If Lord is pervaded everywhere in the universal form, can you catch Him? Can you stitch a dress which can cover the whole universe? No, you can't catch him. When Bali Maharaj, Vaman appeared in front of Bali Maharaj, then he's ready to give 3 steps of land. The minute he took one step, he covered almost the lower planetary system. Second step, he covered all planets, the higher planets. There's nothing left. Whole universe is just covered with two. There is in Tamil Nadu or Kerala, there is a temple, the Urukrama. So taking these 2 steps, one leg is down, one leg is up like this. There is one temple in Tamil Nadu. So that is the inconceivable power of the Supreme Lord. It is not ordinary. So how can you catch him? So, but for living in his purpose, for us to get develop attachment and understand him, understand his form, because unless you see him, you can't understand. Unless you touch him, you can't feel it. You don't get taste, you don't get the feelings, emotions, because we are materially conditioned. We are not Shuddha Bhaktas, pure devotee, sees everywhere Krishna. By hearing, by seeing, all resources, everything, everywhere he sees Krishna. Stavara Jangama Deke na Deke Istadevta Spurti. Sarvatra ho Istadev. That is the pure devotee, the Uttamadhikari stage. That's why in the faith in the third verse, Krishna Prabhupada explains three kinds of faith. Lowest faith, Kanishtadhikari. Madhyama faith, Kanishtadhikari can fall down. He may come to the process of Krishna consciousness for a few years with some hidden motives, then, or somebody forcibly comes, and then after a few years he may fall down. He may go back to his previous situation and go back and do his things. That is the lowest faith. But the second stage is he doesn't fall down because he has a strong faith in the association of devotees. He engages in service, he engages in hearing, he practices chanting. So this way, slowly and gradually, he will come. He's not fully formed faith completely at the highest level. So he doesn't have full conviction of the Shastra. He doesn't have the understanding of the Tattva Vichar, conclusions of Shastra and Siddhanta of the Sampradaya. But he has faith in the process. So that's why he doesn't fall down. Uttamadhikari has full faith because he has full understanding of the Shastra. So what the conclusions of Shastra, Tattva Vichar, you understand the Siddhanta, what is essential, what is the principle, what is detail. So all those that is Uttamadhikari stage. That is the topmost faith. So in these three kinds of faith. So that's why when some people say that God is everywhere, what is the use of going to the temple? Then we have to explain that if God is everywhere, then He is there also in the temple. He is also there in the marble or stone or whatever the form the deity is made of, Acha Vigraha. Just like electricity is everywhere. Can you catch it anywhere? You go to the transformer and do it or what? No, you have to get it. In your home, you plug it in the place. You can't plug everywhere. You have to plug it because you are not capable of getting that electricity everywhere and anywhere. So you have to plug in to the switch, plug into that hole where the electricity is tied to it. Then you will get the actual energy. Same way, the deity Archa Vigraha is like that electric connection, pole. So exactly, you connect, you touch him, you feed him. So you do the arati, flower, everything, because that is his mercy. Because you're not able to perceive him, you can't understand him, you are not able to realize him, anything. So that's why he's appearing in that Archa Vigraha. Is not mythology, it's not a idol worship. So one who says idol means he didn't understand the Shastra, he didn't understand the philosophy, he doesn't have he didn't understand any essence of the Siddhanta also. So it should be always, whenever we see the Acha Vigraha, it should be called deity. It is not the idol. We don't worship idols. That's why we don't see anywhere in our sampradaya, we don't keep any deity outside. Deity is not supposed to be meant for some bird is pooping on the deity. It is not idol. Yes, that's why you have so many idols across the whole world. Outside, people are putting their idols. That is idol worship. Deity means it should be inside the temple. Inside the temple, you will not find outside. You may have cut out or something, but all the vigrahas, everything is inside. So you may have the associates, Garuda or someone outside, but the inside is deity is always inside. So deity is always worshipped in sanctum sanctorium, in pure place. So because it follows the Archa Marga, Archa Vidhan, established Narada Pancharatra, Aisirth Pancharatra. It is Pancharatric Vidhi, which must follow rules and regulations. So that is anyway, that is what the understanding is, like electricity, the example. So since we can't serve him, we can't catch him by this universal form of the Lord. That's why Lord appears in this form. But another thing is also there. Oh, because people say that if he is expanded everywhere, he is finished. Nothing. Just like you take a piece of paper, you break it into pieces. Because Lord is saying, I am pervaded everywhere. So you break that whole paper into pieces. That piece is broken down. You throw it in different places. Nothing is there. The actual original paper is gone. No more. That is the people's understanding. So that's why impersonal. Lord doesn't have form. He is impersonal. He is everywhere pervaded. There is no person. But that is not the reality. It is that an example is not correct. So, and so we have to understand. That means, just like Prabhupada gives another example is sun. Sun is there in a place, in its position. But from sun God is a person. His name is called Vivaswan. Everything is given. Shastra clearly is giving. There is no mythology. Everything is clearly giving. From sun god Vivaswan, then he is there situated in sun planet. Just like we are situated in earthly planet. Right now we are in USA, in some country, some Edison town or whatever town you are all in. So that is what our place is. Same way the sun god is there in between Bor and Antariksha at certain miles away from earthly planet, certain distance. Everything is clearly given out. That is where sun is there. That's the sun planet. Within that sun planet, the person, just like we are in, when we say we are in US, where exactly? We are in Edison or certain particular town within such an address. Same way sun god is also within that sun planet is there. So and then, but the sun rays is coming from sun god. Is sun rays is same as sun? No. In one sense it is same, but in another sense it's not same. Is not there. In sun rays you are getting into, so that means sun is there with you at your home. No, you can't say that sun god is with you. Vivaswan is there with you. No, he is not there. Same way, Supreme Lord is there everywhere, pervaded like sun rays, but at the same time, he is not there in person. He is not there in person. So that's what this verse is telling. That maya tadam idam sarvam jagat avyakta murtina mastani bhutani nachaham teshu avastitah. So that's what it means. There in Srimad Bhagavatam we see a verse. Tad vayur agnir avanir viyat ambu matra प्राणेन्द्रिया हृदय अनुग्रहश्च सर्वत्र एवं सगुणो विगुणश्च भूमन् न अन्यत् अस्ति अपि मनो वचसा निरुक्तम्. My dear Supreme Lord, you are actually the air, fire, earth, sky, water, the objects of perception, five senses, mind, consciousness, false ego. You are everything, subtle and gross, including the material elements, and anything expressed either by words or mind. Indeed, these are nothing but you. So that so this is the understanding. This is how they are offering their prayers. How Lord is everything, but at the same time He is not there. So the Vishnu Puran has also gives that verse. Prabhupada quotes that verse also again and again. एकस्थाने स्थितश्चाग्ने ज्योत्स्ना विस्तारिणी यथा परस्य ब्रह्मण शक्ति अखिलेदं सर्वं इदं जगत. Just like the sun, same example as sun. His sun is pervaded everywhere through sun rays, but it is not sun. Sun rays is different from sun. In one sense it is same, but at the same time it is different. That's why simultaneously one and different. That is in that aspect. That is a clear understanding. There is no ambiguity. There is no confusion. So living entities in quality, we are one with the Supreme Lord. Because He has a form, we have a form. He is Sachidananda Vigraha, we are Sachidananda Vigraha. He has eyes, we have eyes. So like that, in that way, qualitatively we are one. Simultaneously one, but at the same time, simultaneously we are different. Because we are Anu, we are smallest. He is Vibhu, is the greatest. We are Jivatma, he is Paramatma. Or Vibhu Atma, is the greatest. We can't catch him. We are so minute. We are the create. He can create universes, big things. We can create small things. By his perspiration, whole universe is filled up with water. Half of the universe, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, just by his perspiration. When we sweat, hardly a drop. Sometimes when you run or when you jog, when you walk in the summer, you will see sweat. Hardly a drop, a little bit. But by the sweat of the Supreme Lord, so the ocean is like the sweat of the Supreme Lord. Can you create ocean? No, you can't. So the whole universes are floating in the air. How? So this is all. The various energies are working. So we can't understand because we don't have proper faith. But a Lord, by His energy, He can do. If you are able to fly aeroplane 757 by our technological advancement, then why can't the Supreme Lord can fly the whole universe? The whole universe can be in the air, floating. He can do it. So that's how we have to understand. So mystic yogis itself can do so many things. So what is the big deal in for Supreme Lord to do that? So it's all to do with the understanding of Shastra. Since we haven't seen, we haven't heard, that doesn't mean that it doesn't happen. Lord doesn't have that power. So that's what. That's why again Prabhupada quotes Taittiriya Upanishad of this verse. Idam hi viswan bhagavan ivetaro. So that means the whole universe, supreme personality of Godhead, everything is pervaded, but it still is different. Ive tara, itara, but still different from him. So this is what the understanding is. Further, Krishna is explaining in the second verse, fifth verse. The first verse is explaining everywhere I am pervaded, I am in them, but they are not in me. That means he is not maintaining. He is giving the regular facilities of the air, fire, ether, the material facilities, all that. But he's not, he's only maintaining, his devotees is personally taking care of them. Ananyaschantayanto mam ye jana paripa. Tesham nityavayuktanam yogakshema vahami. That is specifically to devotees. That's why it is there in 9th chapter. He's not talking in the beginning. In the karma yoga or jnana, you will not find that verse. This is specific to devotees, he personally takes care. Like how he took care of Pandavas. Did he take care of any others? He was taking care of Kamsa or Hiranyakashipu? No. You'll only see that personally Lord is coming and taking care, giving his association, taking care of them only in case of devotees. So that's what we have to understand. That fourth verse and fifth verse, further Krishna is saying, Nacha mastani bhutani pasyame yogam aiswaram. Now hear about my mystic opulence. Nacha mastani bhutani pasyame yogam aiswaram. Bhota brun nacha bhotastu mamatma bhota. I am the maintainer. I am the creator. I am the controller and maintainer. So, but I am not. So nothing is resting in me. Nothing is resting in me. So let's see the exact translation. What does it say? 9:5. Yet, yeah. Yet everything. Nacha mastani bhutani pasyame yogam vaiswaram bhota brunna cha bhutasto mamatma bodhva. Yet everything that is created does not rest in me. Behold my mystic, although I am the maintainer, and I am not part of this cosmic manifestation, even though I am myself is the very source of creation. From me only everything is coming. So I am the source, is the efficient cause. Material cause is all these 24 elements. But he is the through his glance, this thing is happening. Material creation is happening. So yet everything is created does not rest in me. So whatever Lord is creating, it is not resting in him. So and then he gives that example in sixth verse. Yatha akasham sthito nityam vayu sarvatra gomaha tada sarvani bhutani mastani tu badara. Just like that. Air and sky. Are they same or are they two different? Two different. Sky is different from air. But air is where it is air or wind. It is always situated in the sky. It cannot go beyond. And at the same time, it is not attached. Even though wind and sky both are two different things, wind is always within the sky. Wind cannot go beyond. But at the same time, both are two different. Sky is detached from the wind. Same way, the Supreme Lord is the creator of this whole universe. Just by his glance, this is coming up. And it is situated always. So in within him, but at the same time, he is detached. That's why he's mentioning. Um, does not rest in me. So it means it is detached. So just like the coconut, when it's completely dried out, top shell inside completely detached. You will hear the sound, no water. So at that time. So like that, the sky and ether. So that is the example Krishna is giving. Although I am the maintainer of all living entity, I am everywhere. I am not part of the cosmic manifestation. For myself is the very source of creation. So that's what. And here Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is giving that this is contrary, Arjuna is saying, but this is contrary to what you said before, that you are pervading the universe and that you are the shelter of the universe. And then Krishna is saying, see my supernatural power, Yoga Maiswaram, my extraordinary skill in doing what cannot be done. And see also something else which is astonishing. Even though I am the maintainer of all living in both of Ruth, I am the protector both of Bhavana. I in my spiritual body, Mamatma, am not situated in them. Na bhotasto. Since in the Lord there is no difference between the body and soul, the expression, my body, Mamatma, is employed in the manner of expression like the head of Rahu. Rahu's head is cut off. So his head are not different. Rahu and his head are non different, as Krishna and his body are non different. So that's what is making. So, or in Baladev Vidyabhushan is mentioning that That this is happening by Satya Sankalpa Shakti. Whatever Lord is desiring, then okay, let there be a creation. Then this creation by his desire, by his glance, all this creation is happening. So, but at the same time, he's not in them. So it is like you give an example of Prabhupada gives example Atlas. As though Lord is holding the Atlas, then he will be tired. But he is nothing is resting in him actually. Because just Shastra gives, Brahma Samhita gives, Etchakshuresha Savita Sakla Grahanam Raja Sramurti Rashes Syaknaya Samriti Kala Chakra Govindamadi Purusham Tamam Bhaja. Like the sun and moon are like eyes of the Lord, Supreme Lord. The sun is producing the sun rays, the effulgence. All the planets are situated on the sun, on the rays of the sun, on the rays of the sun. That doesn't mean sun is within them. Are not resting on him, on the sun rays, on the effulgence, on the same way the Supreme Lord is not in them. Supreme Lord is not in, they are not resting on him, even though he is the source of creation. So by his energy, everything is just within. It is staying within. So it is detached from it. That's how we have to understand. In Brahma Samhita, we see in fourth or fifth verse. What is that? There is a verse. I forget. Anyway, so this is what the explanation. The sixth verse is giving the example, just like the sky and ether. So in Prabhupada's conversation with Dr. Patel, he's talking about. But here there little difficulty for me. Here on the first line he says Matsani Bhutani Sarvabhutani. Second line he says Nacha Mastani Bhutani Paschime. Yes, therefore Nacha Mastani. Although I am there, I am not there. That is inconceivable. Simultaneously, not also. Just the warn these people that although Narayana is within Daridra in the dog, that does not mean I am dog or I am Daridra. See, Lord Narayana as super soul is there in each and every dog also, animal also, human being also, demigods also, stone also, everywhere is there. So is every atom, Andantarastu Paramanu Chayantarastam. Uh, but it doesn't mean Narayana is Daridra, Narayana is stone. So it's not that means. So that's why this statement, Nachamastani Bhutan, that's why Krishna is making that point. Sky and ether. Even though wind is situated in sky, does it mean wind is sky? No. Wind and sky are two different things. So Maya Aramanasana Vyogastaya Atmana Ramaya Remin Chakta Sisru. When I wanted to create, I send the glance, that glance is nothing but Kala, time factor. When time factor mixes with this 24 element, that's when the actual this three modes of materialness comes into picture. Time factor. Because in the absolute world, in the spiritual world, there is no time factor. It's a unending. Time is going on. There is no past, present, future thing. Relative is only in the material world. Lifetime is given. People will live in this earthly planet certain years, below planet certain years, above planet certain years. As Brahma's lifetime is given. Sahasra Yuga Padyantam Maharyad Brahmana Vidu. 1,000 yuga cycles is one day of Brahma, and the same way one night of Brahma. Then the same way 1 month. Each day is one kalpa. Like that, 1 month and 6 months, 1 year, like that, 100 years. That is almost 3 trillion years something. It's huge number, long time. Compared to us, we are so minute. On earthly planet, our lifetime is so small. But everything is this whole thing. This is Brahma's lifetime. Imagine what is Mahavishnu's lifetime is just a breathing in, breathing out. One breathing, the whole universe is coming on, breathing out, and breathing in, it is going into the abdomen. So that is just by inhaling, exhaling. It's like, you can imagine how long that is. So that is the comparison. So in front of Supreme Lord, there is nothing for him. Um, so that's why these examples are given so that we can understand this Achincha Veda Abheda Tattva. So how simultaneously one and different. So now the further, yeah. So now we understand about this aspect of how Lord is creating. At the same time, he's not in touch with them. So that's why Maya Aramanasya. Maya means external energy by through this Karnodaka Sai Vishnu, Garbhodaka Sai Vishnu, Kshirodaka Sai Vishnu. as he's creating, and from his navel, this from his breathing in, the breathing out, the universe are coming out. Then he's entering as Garbhodaya Vishnu in each of those universe as a bubble. The universe you can think as a bubble, and we'll see that in this pastime of Mother Yashoda's binding Krishna, not binding Mother Yashoda. Krishna is showing the universal form there. This nice pastime is there. You can understand how it is inconceivable and simultaneously one and different. We can understand through that pastime. So and that's why it is Maya Aramanasa Nav Yogastayasa. Just Lord is glancing this Karanoda, not even Lord Krishna. This is Lord Krishna's expansion of one of the Vishnus, Karano, three Mahavishnus. Karanodasaya Vishnu is called Mahavishnu, then Garbhodasaya Vishnu, then Kshirodasaya Vishnu. Kshirodasaya Vishnu is the one as Paramatma is there in each and every living entity, is there in this material world only. And Garbhodasaya Vishnu is there as the universe coming out. Karanodasaya Vishnu is the one, all hundreds of universes coming out, all the material world are different universes are there. So all of them are coming from Karanodasaya Vishnu is sitting in the between the spiritual world, material, this spiritual world, this material world, in between there's a layer that is called Viraja river. That's where Karana ocean is there. Karana ocean or Viraja river, whatever you are, Brahman effulgent, whatever different names, but it's the same thing. That's where Karana the Sai Vishnu is lying down in that middle area. But it is three-fourths. The middle means not half and half. Spiritual world is three-fourths, material world is only one-fourth. Imagine this itself is so vast. Imagine how vast is the spiritual world. So in between this separation between material and spirit, that's where Karana Sai Vishnu is lying down in a huge water. That's where, and then from him navel, from not his now from his breathing in, breathing out, from his skin pores, the universe are coming out. So many universes. And then from that universe, then he is expanding because the universe cannot stay on its own unless Lord is there. So he is entering as Garbhodika Sai Vishnu and filling half of the universe into half of it with water with his sweat. And then from his navel comes this lotus stem. Each and every universe, Garbhodika Sai Vishnu is there, whether the smallest universe or biggest universe. And then that stem is nothing but 14 planetary systems. We are in the middle planet. So, and then he's expanding the third form as Kshirodasa Vishnu, as Paramatma, because without him, there is no guidance, nothing can exist, nothing can happen. Because that's why Super Soul has to be there guiding always. So, Super Soul is the one who's giving energy to the soul and all the red corpuscles, white corpuscles, it's all that energy is actually coming from Super Soul. So, that's why it's the third expansion of the Supreme Lord. So that, but it is happening through Karanoda Sai Vishnu's glance. That's why it is mentioned Maya Aramanasya. Na Vyogatayas. He is not directly in touch. He is only glancing. And then the actual creation, the Brahma is doing. Brahma is giving, okay, depending on what kind of person, what he has done in the past life, then he's giving this particular body and he's entering a different planet as which planet, which country, which city, all those accordingly is giving different bodies. So, and then annihilation is done by Lord Shiva through Sankarshan. So, Lord is not directly doing, he's delegating, only maintaining is doing. So, in this way, we can understand this simultaneously, one and different. So, but Lord Krishna is not indirectly is doing anything. Even Lord Vishnu is not there. He's indirect, he's only glancing and then he's delegating all the creation aspects and then the annihilation aspect to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So that's what we can understand from this. So that means we are in, and then this creation, how temporary it is. That's what we have to understand. How inconceivable, how much Supreme Lord has so much power, so much strength. Everything is without His power, without His mercy, we can't do anything. So we can't even eat, we can't pass anything, we can't move. So we have to understand simultaneously one and different. So then we have to submit to his authority by understanding his power. He's maintaining how he's maintaining how insignificant we are. So that is what we have to know, and then dependent on him. At the same time, is also even though everything is coming from him, he is completely renounced. He is completely detached. That's why he's using Dhanunjaya. He is Dhanunjaya. Dhananjaya means you have full riches. That's why you when Yudhishthira Maharaj wanted riches, he went and fetched all the gold and everything for the yajna and everything, Rajasuya sacrifice. So that's why it's called Dhananjaya. But then Lord is saying that I am fully detached, oh Dhananjaya. Is telling indirectly. Means if I myself, so much is coming from me, but I am fully detached. I don't want, I have no need of anything. I am fully detached. Same way, so you should be detached because we are insignificant souls. So then, why we are proud of things? We are utilizing. Scientists are describing that we can produce living entities coming from the chemicals. Then, can you produce a living entity? There is no one so far hasn't produced anything, any living entity from chemicals. So, so that's why we have to understand it is that even though if they use anything to produce, that's all given by the Supreme Lord. They can't produce any earth or water or air or fire. All these are given by Supreme Lord. They have to utilize the resources of Supreme Lord and produce something. But we are proud of what we have. So, so that's where the problem comes. False ego, that pride, enviousness. That's why we are here in this material world. So we forget the power of Supreme Lord. We forget actually everything is given by the Supreme Lord. So that's why we have to understand His power. So ether has detachment because it is unconscious by its very nature. Among conscious beings, however, detachment does not exist anywhere except in the Lord. Even though it at once contains everything and dwells in everything, this fact establishes the inconceivability of the Lord. So that's why Lord is giving. Arjuna is telling, but you said that your powers are inconceivable. Paschime yoga Maiswaram. Then how is that ether and how can those powers remain inconceivable if they are just like common ether and wind? Ether and wind is the material examples. Then how is that mystic opulence? That's here that is mentioned. So he is completely detached. It is unconscious by its very nature. So ether. Ether is not like a living entity. Ether has detachment because it's unconscious by its very nature. Among conscious beings, but Supreme Lord is conscious being. However, detachment does not exist anywhere except in the Lord. So we are fully attached to things. But Supreme Lord, even though everything is coming from him, is completely detached. He doesn't need anything. He doesn't have any want. He's not desiring anything. So it is only for the living entities they want to enjoy. That's when Lord is glancing, and then this creation is happening. So now Krishna is explaining about. Before I go to the next, Krishna is going to explain about how this creation, how insignificant is the time. Time is relative. Time is short, even though it's so long of Brahma's lifetime, but still it is insignificant of this cycle of birth, death, old age, cycle of this material universe creation, maintenance, destruction. Lord is explaining. Everything is happening because of my through my will, through my under my direction. The creation, maintenance, destruction is explaining that in the next three verses 7, 8, 9, and 10, and is concluding that in the 10th verse. But before that, I go through that. Let's read. Let's see the pastime of the Yasodamai's pastime, where in the 10th canto, this is explained. Uh, one minute. In the 20, 10th canto, yeah, 37 to 39, where it is mentioned when Krishna opened his mouth wide by the order of the mother Yashoda, she saw within his mouth all moving and non moving entities, outer space, all directions, among with mountains, islands, oceans, the surface of the earth, the blowing wind, fire, the moon, and the stars. She saw the planetary systems, water, light, air, sky, and creation by transformation of ahankara. She also saw the senses, the mind, sense perception, and three qualities: goodness, passion, ignorance. She saw the time allotted for the living entities. She saw the natural instinct and the reactions of karma, and she saw desires and different varieties of bodies, moving and non-moving, seeing all these aspects of the cosmic manifestation along with herself and Vrindavan Dham. She became doubtful and fearful of her son's own nature. There, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is describing. According to prayers of Lord Brahma, Yashoda did not see the universe in Krishna's mouth. But this is the past time where Krishna was eating dirt. Balrama and others told, see, mom, this Krishna is eating the dirt. And then Mother asked, okay, open your mouth. That's when this pastime is happening. That's the description here. So here, Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is saying, Krishna, it is not in the Mother Yashoda did not see the universe in Krishna's mouth, but in his belly. Jagat means moving, and Stasnu means immobile living entities. Um, further mention the whole earth, along with its mountains, islands, and oceans, blowing wind which moves the planets. Uh, uh, Material qualities. Yashoda could see these formless things by seeing the form of their presiding deities, and when they assumed gross forms, at the same time, Yashoda saw the Jiva, living entity, and Kala, time, which agitates the gunas, Swabhava, the cause of transformation, and Karma, also the cause of the birth and resultant action and desire for material enjoyment. Krishna showed the variegated universe within which exist all the different forms of bodies. Tanu means in Krishna's body, but specifically in his belly. Through Krishna's wide open mouth, Yashoda saw all these marvelous things in Krishna's belly. She also saw herself along with her son and husband in Vraja. Brahma's words indicate that this vision was of this particular universe. This is three-headed Brahma is ruling this universe, the universe where we are in. uh, where we are, sorry, four-headed Brahma, Chaturmukha Brahma. Chaturmukha Brahma. In other universes, there are 10-headed, 100-headed, 1,000-headed Brahma also. And there's a pastime there in some other place. Where Brahma is thinking, he was very proud when he went there, and then he said, which Brahma? He's saying, I am the Brahma. Please tell, he was telling his attendant outside God, that tell Krishna that I am the Brahma, I came. Then he came back and asked, which Brahma? Then he was surprised. Which Brahma? I thought Brahma is only one. then he then he saw when Lord Krishna called. Then he called all the Brahmas. So many Brahmas came with so many different heads, and then he was completely shocked. He felt insignificant. So this is the problem with even the highest level, lowest level. Everybody is proud. This false ego is the biggest problem. So that's why Lord is describing the most confidential knowledge, understanding how minute, how insignificant we are, how much we have to depend on the mercy of the Guru and Krishna. Without dependence, utter dependence on Guru and Krishna's mercy, there is no possibility to get out or do anything of transformation of the heart. There is no possibility. So that's what we have to understand. Now let's further read. Brahma's words indicate that the vision was of this particular universe. This universe was simultaneously inside Krishna's belly and outside as well. How can you understand this? Is here you can see that the universe, Ashodama is seeing the whole universe is within the belly of Krishna, but the universe is also outside. So that's the inconceivable. So the universe was simultaneously inside Krishna's belly and outside as well by the inconceivable power of Yogamaya. By showing himself within the universe and by pervading the universe at the same time, Krishna showed his limited and unlimited natures. The vision of the Lord in the universe and the universe in the Lord, which was meant for Santa Bhaktas, reverential devotees, was shown to Yashoda, whose lotus feet are touched by the heads of Madhurya Bhaktas, intimate confidential devotees. Upon attaining this amazing vision, Yashoda began to worry about her son. Mother Yashoda began to argue within herself. Is this a dream or is it an illusory creation by external energy? Has this been manifested by my own intelligence or is it some mystic power of my child? Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is writing. Yashoda began to argue within herself about the cause of this vision. I'm not dreaming because my eyes are wide open. Is this some illusion created by the demigods? Why should the demigod delude an insignificant person like me? Is it some mental derangement? No, because my mind is stable. I am in a good working order. This vision must be due to some mystic power, Atma Yoga of my son. Since Gargamuni said he would have qualities like Narayana. mm, Therefore, then she thought that, then therefore, let me surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead and offer my obeisance unto Him, who is beyond the conception of human speculation, the mind, activities, words, and arguments, who is the original cause of cosmic manifestation, by whom the entire cosmos is maintained, and by whom we can conceive of its existence. Let me simply offer my obeisances, for He is the beyond my contemplation, speculation, and meditation. He is beyond all of my material activities. Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur is elaborated. Yashoda rejected the lost reason after seeing her son's hunger, thirst, naughtiness, innocence. Not finding any real cause of this vision, Yashoda simply offered respect to the lotus feet of Supreme Lord, who is the ultimate cause of all things, beyond our comprehension, and prayed for his protection. Yashoda prayed, the Supreme Lord is the shelter of the visible universe. He creates the universe and he is the visible cause of the universe, but he cannot be understood by persons like me. Durvibhagyam. Let me simply offer my respect to his lotus feet with my mind, intelligence, actions, and words. May he please remove all disturbances from my child. In this way, you can see. Further, Yashoda prayed, the Supreme Lord maintains and protects my son. If this is so, then what is the use of my foolishly thinking in terms of I and mine? Giving up our false conceptions. That's why is very much connected to this today's verse, today's section. This is what Yashodama is, but Yashodama is humbly submitting. This Yogamaya also is there. She is also thinking, why I'm thinking I am the mother, I am this, I am that, why I and my. Completely I'm forgetting. So and you can see, giving up our false conceptions and surrendering to the Lord, Yashoda speaks. I think that I am the wife of Nanda Maharaj and the queen of all cowherd men and women of Raja. All the wealth and cows are my possessions. I think that Krishna, who is the life of the residents of Raja, is my son. That I am his maintainer. By daily worship of Vishnu, the Brahmanas and demigods, my meditation, and by giving charity, I myself can give protection to myself. This is all misconception. I should not be so proud because actually all of Raja's wealth has come by the mercy of Vishnu. Similarly, it was Vishnu's mercy that my child was protected at every moment from demons like Putan. I should not think that I, as just another mother among the common cowards with earthly sentiments, am his protector. This type of logic is temporary and not permanent in Yashoda. It is similar to the temporary desire of the confirmed materialist to give up wife and family because of some temporary spiritual urge. Sometimes people want to renounce, so that's it. Because Yogamaya is covering now. Because minute Yashoda thinks that he's not my son, then finished. Because a rasa of Vatsal ras, highly intense Vatsal ras, will be finished. Because it will be Aishwarya. Oh, Supreme Lord. Then immediately that mood completely changes. So that's why again Yogamaya is coming into picture. You'll see next verse. Mother Yashoda, by the grace of the Lord, could understand the real truth, but then again, the Supreme Master, by the influence of the internal potency, Yogamaya, inspired her to become absorbed in intense material affection for his son, for her son. So that is the beauty of this. Yeah. Yeah, but then the Lord, because Lord wants to give affection, Lord wants to exchange rasa. But then the Lord, as a small boy, thought, who will cuddle and hold me? When Krishna thought in this way, Yashoda was overcome by the very form of affection for her son. The word, prema, Vatsalya prema. So Yashoda became blinded by prema. Immediately forgetting Yogamaya's illusion that Krishna had shown the universal form within his mouth, Mother Yashoda took her son on her lap as before, feeling increased affection in her heart for her transcendental child. So you can understand how this pastime is, how we can understand. Just like Yasodama, but Yasodama is a pure devotee Nitya Siddha. So that's why it is happening that Yogama is covering her. So position of Supreme Lord as an ordinary child. So he brought back into her normal position. But for a few minutes, she was thinking she's submitting to the Supreme Lord. He understood that he is the Supreme Lord, he is not a small boy. So that is what simultaneously one and different, inconceivable. Lord's power is inconceivable. And let's finish already 8:10. The last three verses. Seventh verse, Krishna is speaking. Sarva bhutani kaunteya prakritim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpado visrujavaham. So basically, he's talking about the creation. Sarva bhutani kaunteya. So at the end of the millennium, kalpakshaye. Kalpakshaye means ending. And then kalpado, beginning and ending. He's telling at the end of millennium, all material manifestation enter into my nature, and at the end of beginning of another, by my potency create them again. So one day of Brahma, as I explained, or one full lifetime of Brahma. When his lifetime is over, what's happening? All the living entities coming into abdomen of Vishnu. Then again, when as soon as the again creation is winding up again starting. Bhutva praliyate in 8th chapter we have seen already. So that's what Krishna is repeating, giving, because he is already explained how The is everything is pervaded by him. Our everything is resting in him, but is fully detached. Nothing is binding him. That is speaking after this ninth verse is speaking. People think that, oh, I am holding the whole atlas. Somebody is holding. That means he's heavy. Though he's tired. No, Lord is not tired because he's completely detached from it. By his energies, it is everything is floating in the air. All the universes. He doesn't need to hold. He has delegated. Even if we think like that, Anantadev is holding. In the supreme, in the spiritual world, Sesha is doing is expansions. And in the material world, all the universes are like a mustard seed. Even Anantadev is not feeling any weight. These universal weight is only is feeling as a mustard seeds. You can imagine what is the strength of. So that way we can. But for Krishna, Lord Krishna is not. So he's not directly doing anything. He's delegated this. So completely. That's what here Krishna is. My by my potency, this creation is happening again and again in relation, unmanifesting, manifesting. This these universes. That's what Krishna is explaining. Further, eighth verse also similar aspect. Krishna is saying. प्रकृतिं स्वाम अवस्थव्य विसृजामि पुनः पुनः बोधग्रामम इमं कृष्णम अवसम प्रकृतेरवसा. Avasam is automatically. Just by his desire. Lord is desiring, it will get created. And the Lord wants to annihilate desire by just his desire glancing, then finished. And so he doesn't need to do. We have to do. By just by thinking water is not going to come, and we have to go and fetch water and take the glass and drink it. For Lord, by just by his desire, things can happen. That's how. So that is the difference between the Supreme Lord and living entity. So in this eighth verse, Krishna is explaining whole cosmic order is under me. Under my will, it is automatically manifested again and again, and under my will, it is annihilated at the end. So this is happening. That's why universes are coming and going. There are how many universes are there? So many. Within this one fourth of the Brahmanda material world, there are so many material universes. So that's why we are insignificant. We are nothing. How many living entities are there within one universe? Imagine how many universes are there. So we don't need to worry about what will happen if everybody becomes Krishna consciousness. There are so many living entities. So not just this is just the smallest universe. So many material universes are there. So Lord can take whoever wants everybody. He is ready to take everybody, but not everybody. In present house, not everybody is going to be reformed. Only few percentage only get reformed. So people want to stay there nice. They think that is comfortable position. That is the situation we are also in. We feel comfortable here. We don't want to get out. We think this is the permanent place. We think this is where the actual enjoyment is. Even though we are suffering, we don't see the suffering. Suffering we think is nothing, just a little bit. It's okay compared to the this flickering enjoyment. This suffering is nothing. So that is where the problem is. Further, Krishna is explaining in the ninth and tenth verse. So ninth verse, Krishna is explaining. Even though I am creating, I am this creating, maintaining, annihilation, all is happening, but I am not attached to anything. Nothing is binding me. Nothing is tied to me. But we are binding. If we are attached to results. But Krishna is saying because people may think, oh, that means he is creating, he is maintaining, he is destroying. That means he is attached to results. He is also getting binded. But Krishna is mentioning the nacha maham tani karmani nimadnanti dhananjaya. Udasinam udasinam asaktam teshu karma. Is neutral. Is not attached to anything. So just like the cash counter teller, he will well profit or loss, it doesn't matter. Some people are sometimes there is no money. These days banks when you go, they don't have money. You have to call them ahead of the time. I want to withdraw. It is your own money. You deposit it, but bank doesn't have money. So, but for teller, it doesn't matter. If he says if money is there, he will tell. If money is not there, for him it doesn't matter whether even he closes the account, it doesn't matter because he is not the owner of the company, bank. He is just employee. All he does is okay, whatever he has to do, he will deposit or he will withdraw. He will say, or is not available. Cash is not available. You have to come next day. So that for him it doesn't matter. He is doing as just duty. So positive or negative, credit or debit, it doesn't matter. Same way, Lord is also neutral. That's why Upadrasta, Anumanta, Bhakta, Bhokta, Saksha is mentioned. Is only overseeing, is permitting. Your karma bank balance is this much. You will permit only to that much. He can only do certain things. Beyond that limit, he can't do. Even though you try to do, it won't happen. So but he's sitting as neutral, is watching bird, eating bird is all living entity. So that's why that easel and the painter and painting. Example was given in the 13th chapter. Easel is the material nature, Prakriti platform where we are situated. So because this earthly planet is Prakriti, and that's where we are situated. So we are the painting, the painter. Somebody has to paint. If Lord didn't even give you energy, you can't move, you can't do anything. Painting has colors. Painting has color. Painting is not zero, nothing, void. Painting has some colors. Color, and that means that desire, the thinking, all the emotions, everything is there. That is to do with the living entity. So colorful activity. So that's what it represents. Somebody is painter is painting. Painter and painting both are related. Lord is giving the energy, strength, everything is giving. But then how you utilize your free will and do things. So it is up to you. So if you dance according to the Lord's will, then that is Krishna consciousness. If you want to do your own thing, that is irreligious. That's what will make you keep binding you. You will stay in this material world again and again. We'll have to take different paths. So, but in terms of Lord's position, Lord is clearly telling, I am neutral. I have nothing to do with this material world. I'm only just like the prison house. Government is take care of all departments. Prison house is also his department. Is delegated to the superintendent of police. He is the in charge. So they give training to reform. Same way, Lord is giving Shastra, Sadhu, and Guru is giving his intelligence only to those who want it. If somebody wants to be atheist, somebody doesn't want to believe in God, doesn't want to follow anything, then what can God do? He cannot do. He will conceal it. He will not give any intelligence to understand Him. But once someone starts submitting Him, offering obeisance to him, taking prasad, hearing from him, thinking about him in any form of the or shape of the devotional practice, then Lord will slowly start removing those layers. To the degree we are fully surrendering, to that degree you will remove all the layers. Until that, only little revelation will happen, little understanding will come, then slowly, gradually. But the more we do, then more all these layers will come. So that's why it requires a lot of practice. That's why Krishna is telling Arjuna, you have to practice abhyasa yoga chetasa manigam. So that's what Krishna is telling here. Fully detached. Living entity also can be fully detached, but we have to fully submit to the will of the Supreme Lord and Guru through Guru. So that's what Krishna is speaking here. Oh Dhananjaya, all this work cannot bind me. I am ever detached from all these material activities, seated as though neutral. That's what Krishna is speaking. Then further, the last verse is Maya Prakriti Suite Sacharacharam Hetunanena Kaunte Jagati Vipravartate. So material nature is also one of my energies working under my day, just like the sun. Sun, out of fear of sun, exactly sun is also doing rotating in its exact orbit, not more, not less, depending on what direction, at what position sun is there. Some people have a winter, some people have summer, some people has more sun time, some people has less sun time, depending on which day and time of the year and month, which position you are in terms of the universe. So accordingly, in the weather and all the seasons, all these things are happening. It has nothing to do. No, sun is not forcing anything. It depends on where you are, which direction you are situated. So that's what based on that. But it's all everything. The sun is doing its job by Lord's power, and then Yamaraj is doing its job. Kuvera is doing everybody. All these different delegates, different demigods who are in charge of all these various departments, taking care of their respective duties out of fear of the Supreme Lord. So that's why material nature is one of my energies working under my direction. O son of Kundi, producing all moving and non-moving beings. Under its rule, this manifestation is created and annihilated again and again. Hetu nanena kaunte. So I am the efficient cause. Material cause is the 24 elements. So that's what. And the example is given like is detached, just like the smell, fragrance of the flower and the person who is smelling. You hear, you smell but both are two different things. The person is not the flower, and the smell is coming. So you are smelling. So, but that smell and the person who is smelling is two different things. So that's what is when there is a fragrant flower before someone, the fragrance is touched by the smelling power of the person. Yet the smelling and the flower are detached from one another. So the smelling and the person who is smelling is detached. Flower smelling and the flower are detached. Same way, the Lord, Supreme Lord, and all this creation, this material manifestation is completely detached in that sense. So that's how we have to understand. I'll stop here. Any questions? Let me unmute. There's a lot of philosophical aspects, but it's important to understand. Any questions?
Yeah, Prabhuji, my humble obeisances to you. That was really great. I really enjoyed that session. So Prabhuji, just a clarification question.
Yes.
So when the Lord says he's responsible for creation, maintenance, and destruction, does he do that via the Guna avatar or does he do that via the Purusha avatar? Because I know Purusha avatar, Karana Dakshay Vishnu, creation, destruction, creation of Brahma. And
Yes.
while on the other hand, he's also the Guna avatar. So how does it happen through the Guna avatars or does the creation and all these three activities happen through the Purusha avatars?
So Lord has six kinds of avatars. One of them is the Purusha avatar, another one is also Guna avatar. Guna avatar means Lord Brahma, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu. Lord Vishnu is a mode of goodness, Lord Brahma is mode of passion in charge, and Lord Shiva is in charge for mode of ignorance. Purusha avatar is this Karanodasaya Vishnu, Garbhodasaya Vishnu, and Kshirodasaya Vishnu. So Lord Krishna is above all of them, and then even compared to Lord Vishnu. So what he is doing when creation is happening, the glands activating everything. Without Lord Vishnu's energy, his glands, his energy, nothing can happen. So he is only just giving the glance. Is not directly in touch. He's just in the sending the time factor. Is glancing, and then rest of the stuff is giving it to Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva. So in that way, so the Karana of the Vishnu is Purusha avatars. Through Purusha avatar is glancing, and then uh, because this Karana of the Sai Vishnu, then because we have to look at from Lord Krishna's expansion, Lord Balaram, Balaram's to four quadruple expansion, Vasudeva, Sankarsana, Pradyumna, Anuruddha, in charge for consciousness, in charge for mind, Anuruddha, and then you have intelligence, Pradyumna, then you have ego, real ego, Sankarsana, that transforms into false ego in the material world. And then from that quadruple, first quadruple, Lord Balaram comes, not Narayan. The Vasudeva Sankarsana Pradyumna, yeah, from Sankarsana comes Narayan, Lord Narayan. From that Lord Narayan, second quadruple, Vasudeva Sankarsana Pradyumna, second quadruple. First quadruple is in Golok Vrindavan, second quadruple is in the rest of the Vaikuntha planets. So in the second quadruple, second Vishnu, that Sankarsana, Vasudeva Sankarsana, that second Sankarsana comes these three Purusha avatars. So these three Purusha avatars, through their will, through their glance, then creation is, these universal bubbles are coming out. And then Lord Brahma is doing his secondary creation, the 14 planetary systems, and then the living entities position, which planet, what desires, what they have done in the past, where they will go, how they, everything, all that Lord Brahma is secondary creator. But the elements in itself, the source of all these elements, Lord has to give. So, and glancing. So in that way, so that's why it is mentioned, Maya Aramanasya na Viyogastayasana Atmana Ramaya remain Takta Kalam. Kalam means the time factor. That glance is nothing but the time factor is sending. That's when the immediately as the time factor goes from Lord Vishnu and Rama Devi. This is in Vaikuntha spiritual world, or you can say Vraja river, where Karanosa is lying down. So Lord Vishnu and his consort Rama Devi, and the energy is that glance is going from them to going to Lord Shiva as Shambhu. Sadasiv in Vaikuntha Loka is there, but he is not in doing anything, not doing any of this activity, but he is expansion. Shambhu is not Shiva, is not Rudras who are there in the material world. But this is second. There are three Shivas. Sadasiv in the spiritual world, And then we have Shiva or Shambhu. Shambhu is the second expansion. He is the one when the Lord is glancing, sending his time factor. This is Vishnu and Ramadevi. That is transferred, that glance is transferred to Shambhu, and that Shambhu's wife, Durga Devi, Kalasekti Kali, it is being transferred to them. Ramadevi to Kalasekti Kali, and then Lord Vishnu to Shambhu. And then through them, actually, that is like a milk is transformed into yogurt. Unless you heat up the milk and then you put a little culture, then it becomes yogurt. Same way, if in order for creation has to happen, because Lord Vishnu is Suddha Sattva, because there should be some mixture. In order, that's why we put a tamarind, that's why we put a red chili or something, and then you add a little culture yogurt, then you get from milk into yogurt. Otherwise, milk doesn't become yogurt by itself. So same way the create in order for this material aspect, the gunas has to happen without the pure. It is a mixture. It is not pure. So this mode of goodness, passion, ignorance in material world has some tinge of material aspects. So that's when Lord Shiva is coming into picture, bringing that element. So as Shambhu is not Sadasiv. Shambhu is doing that. Sadasiv has nothing to do with this creation. Sadasiv is aloof from this, is almost as good as Vishnu, but is not exactly, some difference, slight difference, but is situated all in Vaikuntha Loka. That's why there's a Kailash and there's a within Vaikuntha Loka also, that Lord Shiva Sadasiv planet. Sadasiv is there situated, Kailash is also there in that. But this is Shambhu, who is taking care of this kind of creation. Then Lord Brahma is doing the secondary creation, and then again Shambhu's expansion, 11 Rudras. That is the third expansion of Lord Shiva. Those Rudras, sometimes it is explained that Jiva Tattva. But Shiva is not of Jiva Tattva. Sadasiva is not of Jiva Tattva. So, but Lord Brahma in this material world, secondary creator, is Jiva Tattva, higher than us. Rudras of Jiva Tattva, but they are in the material world only. 11 Rudras. But when we say Sadasiv, that we have to understand Sadasiv is in the Vaikuntha, he is not of Jiva Tattva, his position is different, he is higher than Brahma, even though he might be coming from Lord Brahma's nostrils are between the eyes, but doesn't mean people may think, but that is Rudra. Rudra is of Jiva Tattva. He in charge for annihilation purpose at the time of annihilation. So this is how the creation is happening. Through Brahma Samhita, it's clearly explained how even Lord Brahma is getting its energy to even to do these 14 planetary systems, giving different bodies, all this. He doesn't have the understanding how he can do all this. Only when through Lord Krishna's flute, he received two Gayatri, Gopal Gayatri and Kama Gayatri. Out of 7 Gayatris, last 2 Gayatris, then he understood what to be done, how to do everything, his job, his responsibility, everything he understood, everything was revealed in his heart. Tene Brahmavadaya Adikave, first verse of Srimad Bhagavatam talking about. Then Lord Brahma, that's how he got initiated through the flute sound of Lord Krishna. Then that's when he started creating, secondary creator. So that's also as Gunavatar of Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva are these Rudras, Shiva and Rudras in this material world taking care of this actual creation and annihilation. Directly, Lord Vishnu doesn't want to do anything. So he's doing only indirect. He's only glancing, sending in, and now you do whatever you need. So he has nothing to do with this in this way, material creation aspects. Hope that is clear, Mayor Prabhu.
Yeah, so Prabhuji, just to clarify my understanding, so the Purusa avatars, especially Karanodakshai, is responsible for the primary creation, destruction, maintenance, while the Guna avatars are secondary.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, understood, Prabhuji. And Prabhuji, I wasn't even since you mentioned Sadashiv,
Yes.
and I've seen pictures that Sadashiv is Advaita Acharya.
Yeah.
Or he's Mahavishnu. So is Mahavishnu and Sadashiv one, or
combination?
Is that
Sadashiv,
combination?
The Advaita Acharya is a combination of both.
Both, okay.
Incarnation of both Mahavishnu and Sadashiv.
But Sadashiv is in the spiritual kingdoms, while
Yes.
the Karanodakshai Mahavishnu is on the Viraj river, correct?
Yeah. Karanodakshai Vishnu is there in the Karana ocean. Yes.
Karana ocean, yes. The Viraj river, or they call it
Viraja river,
the border between, yeah.
That is in the middle, yes. Yeah.
Okay. So Advaita Acharya is a combination of Sadashiv in the spiritual,
Sadashiv, yes.
and Mahavishnu on the boundary.
Because
Okay.
sometimes, yes,
Understood, Prabhuji.
yes, yeah, Mahavishnu also sometimes is called because from Lord Narayan
Mhm.
also called Mahavishnu. So sometimes, so same name might be utilized someplace. So we have to particular context we have to look at. But Lord Narayan also sometimes is called Mahavishnu.
Mhm.
So because in rest of the Vaikuntha, the first quadruple expansion is in Golok Vrindavan, then the second quadruple from his expansion Lord Narayan, which is there in the Vaikuntha planets. He's not in Lord Narayan is not in Golok Vrindavan. So Lord Narayan and his expansion, second quadruple, Vasudeva, Sankaram, Pradyumna, and Anuruddha, they are all in the rest of the Vaikuntha planet. So
Mhm.
the second quadruple, again, these Purusha avatars, yes, they are in the Karana Vishnu, specifically in the Karana ocean, and then Garbhodaya Vishnu is in the this material universe underneath, below the Garbhodaya ocean, and then Kshirodaya Vishnu is only in Paramatma, is there only in the material world. So in that way, we can understand as Purusha avatars. Yes, you are correct. Purusha avatar Mahavishnu specifically is in the Karana ocean. Correct. But if it is Mahavishnu of Lord Narayan, like if you go to Ranganatha temple, Ranganatha sitting, they call Ramanuja, they call him Mahavishnu. Is Ananta Padmanabha, Tirunantapuram, Mahavishnu.
Hemant.
So, but in that context, he is called Lord Narayan.
Narayan.
Lakshmi
So
Narayan.
Narayan can be referred to as Mahavishnu
Yes.
as well.
Yeah.
Understood. And he's one of the he's the responsible for the for
Spiritual world, rest of the
Chaturvyuha.
Vaikuntha planet.
Yes,
Yes.
the Vaikuntha planet.
Yeah.
And from him, I think the four Chaturvyuha avatars take place, right?
Correct.
The Vasudev,
Yes. Yes.
Sankarshan, Pradyumna.
That is the
Okay.
second quadruple. Yes. Correct.
Thank you, Prabhuji. My humble obeisances to you.
Thank
Hare
you. Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Any other questions? Otherwise, we'll stop here. Next class is starting Krishna book reading. Okay. Thank you. Ganraj, Srimad Bhagavad Gita ki.